DJ Muggs, Mark Shearer, CNN Entertainment News, New York.
Beatles fame, Ringo Starr taking time off to produce an album with some of the biggest rock and roll stars of the time.
It may be a bit of an exaggeration, but that is kind of what has happened in the rap world with the arrival of a solo album from DJ Muggs of Cypress Hill.
There's more science fiction and less gangsta imagery here than you'd expect from a CD called Soul Assassins. Muggs explains.
Back in the days when we first started making music, all we were sampling is soul records. And we'd kill them, we'd chop them up into little pieces and reflip them and take 8 different songs, take a little piece of each one and turn it into one song, like a collage, kind of. The reaction of my peers and the reaction of Columbia Records was, you know, they viewed this record as DJ Muggs' solo album. And, you know, at the time I was producing the Beastie Boys, Ice Cube, Cypress, KRS-One. I was producing a lot of things, you know what I mean? So Columbia Records was excited to give me a deal for a solo record, you know? And instead of just being the DJ Muggs album, I decided to make the album, my crew, the Soul Assassins, you know, and get some of the best MCs of the time, you know, the baddest motherfuckers on the planet at the time, and you know, bring them into my world, into my projects, and just to create a world, a sonic world that was the flow on it, man. And everybody was down. So whoever, you know, I reached out to brothers, and I reached out to, you know, everybody on the album, and everybody said, yeah, I got you, let's go. Oh shit, hell yeah, let's go, because some of the brothers been wanting to work with me, I've been wanting to work with some of them, you know what I mean? So it was a chance to get together and just, you know, make shit happen, man. You know, working on the album in '97, there wasn't one artist I was more excited to work with for the next, because I was basically a fan of everybody on the records, you know, except some of the newer acts. It was a chance to, like, give them a platform, you know what I mean, to launch from. And some of the newer acts were some of the first projects that they ever had out, you know what I mean, like Call the Wild, Infamous Mob, you know, that was Infamous Mob's like first record, you know what I mean? So, you know, I put that on there and, you know, covered the East Coast, the West Coast, the South. I recorded the MC8 song in New York in the famous D&D studios, you know what I mean? 8 came out to New York, we got in the lab, and he banged it out, yo. The ad-libs were mad melodic and killer over that harp, and she was a beast.
Been bringing the pain inside a July. My crews do or die, insist to ride high. Clients never fuck us. Like hammer can't touch us. Automatic ruckers.
I was in New York doing some business of my own. And basically Muggs just called me up, told me he was in the studio. He wanted me to come over, check out a track. So basically I just slid by the studio, sat there for about an hour, wrote down the song, bingo, it was put down. A song called Heavyweights. Basically it's just talking about being in the business for a while, you know, having a little recognition, a little clout in the industry as far as being down for a while. He's been around for a long time, I've been around for a long time. We've done numerous projects, so basically just saying we heavyweights in the business.
Wyclef, we recorded in LA and in New York, I think. And he had kicked a couple different verses on the song, and we ended up with this one. This shit's like a fucking Bible passage, you know what I mean? This shit's amazing. Dude's a fucking amazing talent, Wyclef.
What do you mean, John 3:16? For God so loved the world, every man packs an M16. Says the girl to the fiend. Says the junkie, and I caught the bullet. I was stubborn like a mullet. Drink white Russian game, Russian roulette. Flight continental, 6 o'clock in the morning. Briefcase full of cocaine on my way out. I tipped the doorman. Jumped into the cab, said Hail Mary full of grace. Yesterday communion was the mafia's reunion. Confessed to the priest, he baked the apple. I ate the peach, slept with vanity, so my soda Robin Leach. Devil music and we hear no fear. I'm pumping Def Leppard.
Yo, which vibe, man? Keep that one, and now let's go put that go-go one on the other track.
Yeah, do that. I'll take
it. You know. Cause you good with that shit, I ain't. What do you mean?
Like that. RZA Jizza, we recorded at the Hit Factory in New York. I went in and laid Jizza's verse with him. RZA came in, laid his shit, and then he was like, yo, I ain't really feeling this. Jizza killed it, I'm gonna come back tomorrow and redo my verse. So he came back the next day, laced it, killed it.
Yo, check the mic line for wiretaps. We under attack, man, your stations. Take aim, proceed. Fire back, all hands on deck. Cadet vest, insert cassettes.
Straight badge of 72. Kept niggas in suede rags. Microphone psycho. Who flips the mic?
Drank a lot of wine, had a good time, smoked some bud, you know, and that was the beginning of that one.
Like a lot of producers you hear, they don't really be tapping into the right chambers, but Muggs tapped into the right chamber, and the beat was fast. So I was like, yo. The vibe that we had in the studio was a professional vibe, you know what I'm saying? You know, Muggs is a professional, I'm a professional. Jizza, we all professionals at this. We know what we want to do, what we got to do, we know how to do it.
We started talking about doing a video. I had Jizza direct the video for Third World. We shot that upstate New York. Cold ass winter, you know what I mean? Military vibe.
See, no. We hooked up, we did the song. It was banging, the track was fat. And being that the lyrics were strong in there, it was visual, they thought about doing a video for the song. So then they came back to me that, hey, we want to do a video, would you mind directing it? And I was like, yo, that's right up my alley. We can do this.
Dr. Dre, I went to Aftermath Studios in LA, got with Dr. Dre, and when he got there, the beat was up already. I got there a little early.
When I got there, the track was already set up. I went in and did my vocals. That was that.
Muggs looked at Dre's influence in hip hop, and he looked at our influence in hip hop, and you know, he decided to put me and Dre together on the track, and basically, you know, it worked out well.
I went and mixed the record, sent it back to him, you know, got his approval, and then I was like, yo, I want to shoot a video for this joint. He was like, bet, what you want to do? Instead of doing a conventional hip-hop video, I wanted to go way out, you know, and push the limits on this joint. So I got Dean Carr, who had directed Marilyn Manson, Nirvana, Nine Inch Nails, you know what I mean? So I got him to write a treatment. And he's like, what should I do? I was like, just go all the way out. Take it as far as you want to take it. So he took it there, you know what I mean? Dre came down, B-Real, they was good sports, you know. They was like, yeah, okay, I'm fucking with it. Let's do this shit. And the video was crazy. But I think it scared some people in the Bible Belt at the time, so it got pulled from a lot of the urban channels. But the shit was a work of art ahead of its time for hip-hop videos. KRS-One, I was in the studio with KRS-One in New York, you know. Big fan, one of my idols, man. You know what I mean? Looked up to that brother. So being able to be in the lab with him and bang out a couple songs in a few weeks was fucking beautiful. You know what I mean? Ridiculous for me, man. Dream come true. You know what I'm saying?
Gotta get a chorus. Like I gotta get a crowd. The chorus goes. Can't stop, won't stop selling madness. All competition, I got to get rid of. When I go jail and when I go prison. Baby, this and then the lyric. Listen to the song, and you see, cause what makes the song dope is the sound effects.
Oh, all right.
Is like, you know, the gunshots is going on, cause I'm like having a war with the cops. So it's
making
like
mad vision,
you know, and then the doors are kicking in. I'm running.
We'll do that. We'll do that shit tonight. Once you kick that shit, I'll start feeling that shit.
So what's up?
So yo, what's up with this?
So this the new KRS joint, Ricky Powell, the new shit.
Can't stop, won't stop selling mad.
It's for the new joint for the Soul Assassin record. Soul Assassin 96.
Up and out the earth, they selling pure ganja. Babylon come, but they undercover. They never really want me stop sell ganja.
A lot of Dark Man. It's one of La's first songs out too. It was before the Heist of the Century album, you know, so he was another new artist that I had featured on there.
One track solo, you know what I mean? That I wrote, a lot of Dark Man, you know what I'm saying? It's called Devil in a Blue Dress, you know what I mean? Then I you know, I did the additional vocals just in the background, you know, the RZA and Jizza joint, you know what I mean?
La murdered the track called Devil in a Blue Dress, you know what I mean? And you know, now I'm working with his younger brother, Willie the Kid, you know what I mean? So it's nice to see this shit come full circle. Goody Mob. I flew to Goody Mob to LA. We worked in American studios on Lancashire and North Hollywood. And, you know, the Goody Mob, their music is very musical. So for me just to give them a raw beat with a raw sample and raw drums, you know, was something a little bit different for them. But like I said, I wanted to bring them into this world. So we did the song. I don't think CeeLo was really feeling the song when it was done. He was cool with it, but it was funny because when the Source magazine came out, CeeLo got Rhyme of the Month for that rhyme, which, man, I'm gonna tell you, man, that's one of the greatest rhymes in hip-hop history. Off Decisions, a Goody Mob, you know, first Soul Assassin. So peep game, man, peep game. Went to New York, with Bigger B, went in the lab with Mobb Deep, and walked in the studio. Have P was there, you know what I mean? I played him a couple tracks. We picked this track, and they just started writing, man. I figured like 3 hours later, we was done with the song, you know what I mean? And I took it back to LA, I mixed it. Monster joint, man. This shit's a fucking banger. Whenever I make an album, I like to create a world and create a landscape and create a musical identity for that record, you know, and have a visual identity as well. So a lot of times I have the album cover done before the album's done. You know, sometimes I have the album cover done before I start the music, actually. So, you know, I have the concepts and I can look at it because I'm very visual with music, so I like to have visual references. So this record, I want it to look like an old spaghetti western, you know, something Ennio Morricone might have scored, you know, some of the Clint Eastwood shit. So that's the vibe I went for with the cover, old, you know, spaghetti western movie poster and shit. Just different things like that, you know what I mean? Just trying to keep the flow, keep the vibe, man. Have a good time, you know, with the genius minds of the time, man. Yo, people hear this record and, you know, the record sounds brand new. Like the record came out right now, the record be groundbreaking and be killing it, you know what I mean? So it definitely aged well, like a lot of our music does, man. The album was just another brick in the wall for me, you know what I mean? Probably 6 years into the creation of the Soul Assassins. To see where we took the Soul Assassin crew in the last 24 years from that point, there's never been a crew as ill as us, you know what I mean? As ill as the Soul Assassins, period. Back in the days, I wasn't big on sequels and doing part twos and whatever, so I was never really planning on like doing Soul Assassin 3, 4, 5, but you know, as time goes on, things change. So here I am with Volume 3 now, and Volume 4 is halfway done already, so we're gonna keep pushing now, you know what I mean? And where I'm going with this, the journey is the destination. I've been arrived. It's all icing on the cake.